All right, so once again, we want to welcome Reverend Professor Aniefiok Akpabio, and he will be sharing with us on managing time, emotions, and finance. And this is the profile which we've already read, an electrical engineer and member association of supervisory and executive engineer of London, AMSEE, and a professor of theology and biblical studies and fellow associate of Christian Theologian Facts, and fellow in College of Chaplaincy and Psychology, chairman and National Executive Council Association of Christian Theology, and is also the overseer of Kingdom Builder Ministry, provost at World Harvest Bible College and Seminary, Calabar, president and visionary of Ministerial Consultants Network, a licensed marriage counselor and teacher on marital issue, and also head of administration of World Organization of Ambassador, an international and continental speaker in any conferences and seminar, and also a member of Bible Research Institute, MBRI, a theology scholar and book writer, a child of God, and a minister of the gospel. So let's welcome Reverend Professor Akpabio to share with us this morning.
Thank you very much, beloved ones who are here, for what the Lord is doing day after day in our lives. I know that as far as you are here with us, we'll succeed and we'll see more. I want to really appreciate the effort of our Queen, who selflessly is pioneering and carrying on this program in a way that is helping. So I say kudos to you and congratulations for being in the plan of God and to fulfill the will of God. Today is another day that we have to share on these three important aspects. It's actually a three seminar in one, because managing time has a lot to handle. Managing emotion has a lot to handle. And managing finances also have a lot to center. But I know that as we go on, we'll actually strike and hold on to the area we can go, and then the rest we know it. So welcome to our study today on managing time, emotions, and finances. I welcome you in, and I say it shall be a benefiting time as far as this time is concerned. When you look at managing time, the first question is, what is time? The second is, how important is time? In the business world, they say time is money, which means time play a vital role in whatever we do. And so we'll go from the aspect of understanding about time and flow into what time is, the problem of time, and how to manage it. And we'll go into what you call emotions. And we differentiate emotion from feelings. And then be able to tell how do we manage our emotion. Because there are a lot of people who are emotionally inclined. A little thing that cannot upset somebody, it will upset them. And finally, we'll look into the aspect of this issue of finances. How do we manage our finances? How do we manage corporate finances? How can we actually help the young ones and the old ones, the governmental and the non-governmental, to be able to manage resources and finances? So we take the first one, managing time. When you ask the question, what is time? Some people say that time is a measurable or sometimes somebody say is a measured or a measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists and continue. Time is a measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues, which means time has a limit. And within that limit, it's expected that something ought to be done. And when you may not be able to do things at that particular set time, then there is a problem. Beginning from the scriptural perspective, the Bible said, for everything under the sun, there is a time and a season. Which means everything, as we are talking now, we're talking with time. And after now, the time will go. As the first speaker was saying, there is a time of the older people, the experience they can tell us what they experienced at that older time is different from what the people now are thinking, and will be different from what others who are coming have to be. So time is a measured or measurable period during which an action can be taken, a process can be taken, or the condition can exist. Some people also say that time is a non-spatial continuum that is measured in terms of events. Time is a non-spatial continuum. That is, it has space. You don't even say this is the space of it, or you can say this is the space within which sometimes we call range. A range of a period that a particular thing is being done. And that is in terms of events which succeed another from past through the present future. That is what we look at as time. Another person can say that time is the never-ending continued progression, the never-ending continued progression of existence. And that is what we look at, a never-ending continuation. If it is actually this, how do we manage time? Because most of the time, time is not in our favor. Time plays its role different from what we are doing. So we come to ask ourselves a question. What is the purpose of time? So that we can know how to manage time. Because in our teachings on time management and financial management and emotional management, which is a book by itself, there are a lot of things we are to understand. That when we talk about time, the purpose of time is to provide a way of meaningful and ordering events and procession. Time gives us a period and provide a way of measuring and ordering events and processes. If you are given 10 minutes, like most of the time, the Queen will ask us, how long are you going to be able to stay? And that is to say that what we are doing is going to be provided in a way of a meaningful timing that can really help. So it provides a way of measuring and ordering events. That's what the Bible says. For everything, there is a time. There is a measure of time to measure that event, to see whether we are succeeding or we are not succeeding. Number two, we understand that time, the important or purpose of time is to enable us to track, check, compare, and also predict future occurrence. If you are somebody and then you are doing things by time, every period will be looked into. Like here in Nigeria, I remember people were asking or talking in the social media, the first 1 year of, from the time of Basenjo, the first 1 year of the next person that took, the first 1 year of this, the first 1 year of this, up to the first 1 year of this. What are they trying to do? They are looking at how they were able to use their first 1 year. And that is where we are talking here. It enables us to track changes, to see comparison, to look at durations and to predict the future occurrence. Because when you know the time that somebody did a thing before and he succeed, and somebody comes to be in that stage and he have the same time but it's not succeeding, we say whether that person is a failure or not a failure. And we say number 3 thing or purpose of time is to allow us to coordinate our activities with others, to plan for the future, and to reflect on the past. Those 3 things are important. The purpose of time allow us to coordinate our activities with others, allow us to plan for the future, and allow us to reflect on the past. So as we look at time, except we are able to manage time well, we may not actually have the success that we need, and we may waste our time for nothing. Though alongside the process, we are going to talk about time wasters. What are those things that can waste your time and make you not to have what you have? At the end, you become annoyed with yourself because what you expected to happen has not happened. And some people say, when we talk about types of time, we can say in the types of time that there is survival time, there is working time, there is self-care time, there is leisure time, there is reflection time, and also all these ones are limited space or period or timing. So having understood the meaning of what is time, we will now go into the aspect of more understanding about time. Like somebody would say here, in my record here, I say, in defining time, addition to what I've said, is a process of planning and coordinating how much time we need to spend on a specific activity. If actually time has to do with the process of planning, we can now look at how long will this take. Like when people do business, they do business in their area and you hear them say, at the space of 1 year, the business will be over. So we understand that the timing is very important to life. It is a process of organizing and planning how to divide one time between the other. So as we look at the planning, we see that it is important to really understand how can we manage time? How will we make it real for our lives? Because of the timing and because of the time I have, are some aspect of importance that I will handle so that we can, or even if it's going to be time for today, other times we will actually talk about emotions and finance. We will touch them a little. So when we look at it, we see that to manage time, there must be the principles or the skill of managing time. One must have the skill. One must have the principle. One must have the true understanding of what it is. So if we look at that is time, the first question is, what do we think about time management? Because in time management, it accounts and touches 4 major areas. If you really want to manage time, as we go on, there are 4 major areas we are going to take note of. And sometimes we say that to manage time, there is what we call the 4 Ds of time management. 4D of time management. And the 4 Ds are number 1, do. Number 2, delete. Number 3, defer. And number 4, delegate. If we want to manage time, those 4 time management principles have to come in. I repeat again, number 1 is do. Number 2 is delete if it is not doable. And number 3, defer. Take it to another time in order to do what you are expected to do. And number 4, delegate. You may not be able to do all the things at the same time. but you can be a useful instrument that God can use to be a blessing to people. And so that has to be taken care of. So in the process of doing this, I come with what we always talk about, management matrix. Management matrix. If you want to manage time, the following is very important for you to take note. And there are 4 management matrix. One is existing, urgent, and important. Existing, urgent, and important. Just like crisis emergence, just like pressing problem, just like these line drawn projects, or just like last minute preparation. Are they urgent and important? You note it very well. Number 2 is they may be not urgent, but they are important. The first one is urgent and is important. How do you manage that? The second one is not urgent, but important, such as preparation, planning, and prevention, value clarification, relationship building, tree retraction. These ones are not urgent, but they are important. How do you manage time when that thing is not urgent, but it is important? How do you manage things when it is urgent and important? The third matrix is not important, but urgent. That thing may not be important, but it's urgent. Such situation is interruptions in some callers. You are talking to, like as we are now on the news media, you can be speaking and somebody is calling the phone. Somebody is calling the number. This interruption. But now it's not important, but it is urgent. How do we handle it? Some might be many pressing matters. They are not important, but they are urgent. Many pressing matters, family matter, health matter, academic matter, social matters, but they are not important, but urgent. How do you handle them? And then we come to the one that it is not important, it is not urgent. When it comes to a situation, that thing is not important, that thing is not urgent, how do you handle? I suggest when you come to that area, the advice is when something is important and urgent, do them right away. When something is important and urgent, do them right away. Don't delay, because it's important and it's also urgent. Do them right away. Because if you fail to handle it at that time, then you maybe find it difficult to answer again, and that may bring problem. Now, if the thing is important and not urgent as a task, what do? Decide when to do them. It is important, but they are not urgent. Decide when to do them. So that by the time you decide when to do it, it will not bulk on you, and then you solve the real time that other things have been done. Because remember, it is important, but it is not urgent. But when you come to a situation that such a thing is urgent, but not important, what do? Delegate them if possible, so that you can have time to do. But it's not important. Delegate them so that you can have time to do the most important thing. If you want to do everything, it comes to the word they say, jack of all trades, but master of none. If you want to do everything, you kill yourself just for nothing. So delegate when it is urgent, but not important. But finally, when you come to a point that it is not urgent and it is not important, that thing you are talking is not urgent, it's not important. What I say here is set them aside to do later. Because it's not urgent, because it's not important. Set them aside so that you can do it better. If all the small things coming your way, you want to attend to all of them, you see, you will stop doing the valuable things, which means what is important for us to know and think about is what is important and urgent. If I am planning, how do I manage time towards that? Then that can help. So the implication of poor time management include poor workflow. If you don't manage time well, the implication is that the workflow will be poor. Number two, there will be poor reputation because you've not taken time to do what should be done. The Bible even tells us if a man wants to build a house, he should sit down first and count the cost, so that when you finish and you put time to do it, at the end, people will see the beauty of what you have done. It is important we take time to do what is the right thing. Sometimes we have what we call wasted time. And at the end, you come to see that you wasted the time for nothing. Let's look at the people. They want to grade the road and to tar the road. And it is at the rainy time. And they pour the whatever on the ground and decide to pour the beer, pour everything, and the rain come and take them all away. Erosion clear all of them. It was a good work to be done, but it was not at the right timing. So we need to understand that we don't have to have wasted time. Wasted time is regrettable and it is not beneficial. So we look at this and see what we can actually do to help us to work very well. That is where I will talk about time wasters. Because one of the things we must know, when we have all these ideas, we'll now come to how do we manage our time. When we look at time wasters, others have said they are 12. Others say they are 9. But I suggest to them, do you know that social media is a time waster? A time you sit down to scroll all the numbers in the phone, you scroll them. You may realize that 1 hour you have not done anything, you wasted the time you could have done for other things and go on social media. That may be a time waster. So you need to go into social media when you have located time for that. Another time waster is what we call interruptions. Okay, like what we are doing now, network went off and it became an interrupter. And therefore, it wasted our time for at least 3 or 5 minutes. So time waster can also be interruptions. When you have to manage time, you know what comes in that was not there. Any additional to what you were not about to do, if it is not important, it is interruption. You keep it aside here and continue what should be. The next one is what we call multitasking. Multitasking job. You carry too many things at a time, and they are all on you. It is time wasters because you cannot hold everything in your hand and be able to climb. There must be the momentum of how you are moving and one hand to hold and the other one to continue. So many a times we waste our time in carrying too many things, multitasking. We crack our brain here, crack our brain there. This is what's supposed to do. And at the same time, 3 things may occur, 4 things to be done. At such a time, it will become a waster. Because as you try to work them, you see that at the end, you may not actually fulfill one. There's also what we call working without plan. It's a time waster. Working without plan is a time waster. Because you don't have a plan, you are only guessing. As you get involved, that's when you begin to do it or not to do it. It's a time waster. That's what we also call disorganization. Things have been done. Somebody just come and say, let's change this way and let's go to this way. It disorganizes the whole thing. Even you, when you want to do anything and you are disorganized, you see you cannot speak well. You cannot be conscious of what you are doing. Therefore, these time wasters will look at, identified, so that we can know how we can manage our time. Sometimes we say that unnecessary meetings can also be time waster. And what do I mean by that? Engaging in unimportant meetings or discussion somebody will carry his legitimate problem to stop your legitimate success. To him, it's legitimate, it's important, it's okay. And to you, what you are doing is legitimate. And somebody can decide to stop you from doing what you should do. Those are unnecessary meetings. We must come to a point of saying, if I have a time, I know this is what I'm to do at this time. Anything that you have not included in the MOOC program, you have not included in what you are going to do, you keep it aside. People may hate you and say you don't want to listen to them. That's okay. Or there are sometimes, as we are now, there can be some phone calls coming in, there can be information coming in, somebody wanting to get something from you. If you decide to do that, you are actually affecting where you are and what you are. So I say that a time waster it can be even somebody. As we are here now, there can be somebody that may be very funny, distracting our interest, taking us to something, commenting wrongly at the time he wants to comment. Those can be time wasters. So if you want to manage time, you need to understand that human being can become a time waster to you. I bet wait, let me tell you this. I bet wait, do you remember this? Do you remember that? That's why sometimes we have a schedule of whatever we want to do. Sometimes we call it agenda for a meeting so that everyone will know one by one what is to be done. That's to avoid time waster. And when we look at that, we now come to a point about setting goals. That if you want to really make the time what it ought to be, then there should be an issue of setting goals in your timing so that it can work very well. Let me even finish with what the time waster. Another one is what we call unnecessary meetings. Please, if we are to achieve our goal and purpose, you will not and should not attend every meeting.
That's it.
You should not and accept to be in every place, except when you know it is genuinely genuine. And when you know it is important, it will be beneficial to you, and it will also, you will be beneficial to others. But when it is only a crowning of a meeting, when there is nothing you are going to do there, you have a lot of things to do. The Bible says there is a need that we need to be wise. God has given us everything concerning timing. There's a time to born, a time to die, a time to do this, a time to do that. Save your time and be sure you don't get yourself involved in everything. We normally say that word, jack of all trade, but master of none. We look at when we can talk about procrastination, is also a time waster. If you want to do a thing, do it now. And if you want to say, well, I will do it tomorrow, the next I will do it tomorrow, you are not serious. For you to actually be able to manage time, you must be sure of what you are going to do, especially when you remember the matrix and think about, is it important and urgent? Is it not important and it's urgent? Is it not important and it's not urgent? Which one do we get ourselves involved in so that we can help ourselves? We have said also that lack of knowing what to say at the time is also a time waster. We who are speaking in programs like this, and almost all of us that are here, important and special people, you see, if you don't know what to say, you go there and make a mess and disgrace yourself. So there must be a self-preparation in order to make things go the way it should go. So all these are things we look at the issue of time. The question now is, how and why is time important? So that we can now talk about management. We say that it can produce productivity. Time management can produce and improve productivity. Because if we manage time, you have 1 hour. And within that 1 hour, you should disseminate and give up whatever you have for that time. It is going to promote productivity because everybody will focus at that time, especially a learning process, which we who are academicians and training people, we know. There is a limit, a state of time that somebody can concentrate to hear what you are saying. And when the time is too long, as far as the law of elasticity is concerned, it can break off. So we need to know that if we manage time well, it will promote productivity. Number 2, it will reduce stress. And now looking at the benefit of time management. So we can now at the end talk about how to manage our time. It really strays, because if you can manage well, like us here, who sometimes we may not take medicine, sometimes we take medicine, sometimes we sleep, sometimes we are not sleeping because of the engagement. When you plan your time very well, it will release stress and help you to survive very well. It will also boost job satisfaction. Time management boosts job satisfaction, because at the limited time that you have, all the effort that is done, you see, is going to be at the end, you can laugh at yourself. According to how people say about English, you say, make sure that you do a thing that you can laugh at yourself. That's, you feel very happy that you are a fulfilled person. It also fosters mindfulness. Time management further encourages mindfulness. I am conscious within me. I have to deliver the thing so time. When people are not conscious of time and they are not taking time as anything, they will not be mindful of what they do. They say, after all, there is still time. There is still time. And then you need the last minute rush cannot come and should not come if time management have been done very well. It encourages clear objective. If we manage time well, it encourages clear objective. Everybody is aware of what they are doing so that they can do it well. And it enhances decision making because we are there. And finally, under what it is, it will enable effective development and foster personal growth. These are the things we must know. Now, how do we manage time? When you come to see you have a project or you have something to do, the following are the things you can do in order to manage time. Number one, start your day with a clear picture, a clear focus. Start every day with a clear focus. Some people say, have a note of what to do. Schedule yourself, and you know, from 10 o'clock to this time, I will do this. From this time to this time, I will do this. From the other time to the other time, I will sleep. From the other time, I will do this. When you have that, you see that you are putting yourself in a form or way you can really make well. Not a situation we jump into things. Emergency can come, and that is when it is important and urgent. Then we have told you what to do and how to do it. Determine what you want to achieve that day and set a clear focus. At every time, in managing time, determine what you are to do that day. That's why somebody that must succeed must not live for today. You must not live for today. Rather, you live for tomorrow. So before tomorrow comes, you have a clear picture of what you are going to do. The other day come, you have a clear picture. You have a daily itinerary. You have a weekly one. You have a monthly one. You have a quarterly one. And you have a yearly one. When you do that, you will not be rushing into stress. And they will tell you high blood, low sugar, high sugar. Those will not come because you are planning well. So make sure you start your day with a clear focus. Number two, make sure you have a dynamic task list. This is a list of what I'm going to do, depending on order of importance and the order of urgency. When you come to know the thing is important but not urgent, you know how to play about. When you see the thing is not important but it's urgent, you know how to work. When you know it is not important, it is not urgent, then you know how to handle. So make sure you have a dynamic task list. And what do I mean by that? That's to say, capture the task and activity you must do. And be sure, as I sleep tonight, this is what I'm going to wake up to do tomorrow. Even as I'm sleeping, this is what I will be doing while sleeping. I might be praying, I will be researching the scripture, I will be doing this, I will be preparing for the student lecture tomorrow. And so you do that within the time limit. Number three, focus on high value activity. To manage the time well, focus on high value activity. Every activity is okay, but there are ones that are high value. And if they are high value, focus on those ones that will be profitable, those ones that will be encouraging, those ones that will be helpful to others, those ones that actually will make you achieve the purpose. Focus on those ones. There are a lot of things that is not there. You look at when they are peeling beans or making rice and the rest. They will get out the shift and then they bring out the seed in order to keep. Focus on high value. That's identify and focus on activities that would have the most positive effects. Focus on those ones. The one that will not have most positive effect, you drop it down. You can want to go to a meeting and some people are there, they will go and value how to eat. When you are thinking about what to do tomorrow to bring blessing, it might even be business meeting, and you go, the people are talking on how to do enjoyment and how to do entertainment. But your goal is how to achieve the goal tomorrow so that you can actually sit down and laugh at yourself. That's to say, you sit down and enjoy the fruit of your labor. So focus on those. And I said, also start with what is important first, then move to what is smaller, and then go into the unpleasant one. Take everything that will distract attention to the end of the meeting. That's why they have miscellaneous. That's what they have, other matters. That will actually help to make things go the way it should go. The number 4 thing that we need to do in managing time, minimize interruptions. Minimize it. I take a case study of what we are doing now. If it is laptop, if it is phone, you see calls are coming to interrupt. And if you want to break and listen to what is done, we are cut off somewhere. Don't be cut off anyway when you want to achieve a purpose in life. Mind your business and do what is expected to be done. After reaching the end of what you do, you can attend to anybody. By that time, if you fail, it is the same people that will laugh at you. If you succeed, they will identify with you. So mind the focus and go on very well. Don't break your flow. Don't go distracted. Discipline yourself to walk on a track single-mindedly. Don't break the traffic. Make sure you go on. Discipline yourself to remain where you should remain. Now, one of the things that we have as a human problem is self-discipline. You can decide to say, I'm not going to go out now. The next thing, small thing happen, we go out. But if we can discipline ourselves and make sure within the time I have, this is what I'm going to do, it will actually help us to work. Number 5 is stop procrastination. Extending it. There is still time. There is still moment. To me, as a principle, I love to do everything and finish it before I start, so that I am sure that that thing, I have gotten the answer of what I want. Not as it always say there is still time, there is still time. No, do everything before the real time. When you come to the time, you see that it is only execution and advice and going on. People will appreciate when you can be an answer to problems, when you can be a situation changer and one that helps another person to go the way you go. Stay focused and create external commitment for deadline yourself. Deadline yourself. I must do this thing in 2 days. If it's expected for 1 week and you finish it in 3 days, you see, you have the chance to do other things. And that's an extra thing that will come your way. The next thing is limit, as I said before, limit multitasking. Don't allow too many things to grip your mind. Like sometimes you hear somebody say, my head is hot. My head is hot. Who brought the hotness? It is you. When you think too much and allow a load to come upon you, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't do anything. The body constitution will not actually be okay. And therefore, it will affect the psychic system. And then you can become a mess. You see somebody is talking, the next thing is cut off. He doesn't even know what to do. He's cut off the other side, and he's because he had not actually looked at the aspect of limiting multitasking. Anything that is tasking you too much, and you say it's going to be not as it should be, limit it. I have been busy throughout my life, but sometimes people will come and tell Akpabio, do this thing small, small, small. Even if you die now, others will carry on and do the work. And we need to know that. Others, immediately the day you die, they say another person to take over. Yes, sir. It might even be somebody you never thought about it, and he will still do the work because the work is God's work and God will give him the strength. But within the limit of the time we have, as God could give us the strength, we need to do something and avoid multitasking, but make sure we fulfill the little we can do to God's glory and glory alone. The other one is review your day-to-day activity. Review your day-to-day activity. What am I really doing? You know, there is a need for this review, because when you come to a position, you don't look back. Because at least every day, when the day is finished, look back. How did we achieve yesterday? Is it okay? Like we who are church administering, we come to school here, we train people, we have seminars like this. We need to look at ourselves. How do we do? How did that conference go? How is the school going? How is this going? Because all these things, when you fail, people will not know that they will not mind that you have a lot of things to do. They feel that you should have done one thing and stood out. So do that in the simplest way, I would say. If I want to tell the simplest way to handle it, for you to manage time very well, create a daily plan. Pick a time limited to each work. Create a plan. Then pick the time that's limited to that work. Use your calendar. And then use organizers. You know, there is a word that I shared with people the other day. The Bible says Jesus is the author and finisher of our faith. We may not be author and finishers. You might be only the author and somebody is going to finish what you have started. You might also be the author or you may be a finisher and somebody is the author. So there are sometimes we have an idea and somebody can be able to develop that idea very well. That person now is the author or is a finisher. We are the author. It is only Jesus alone that is the author and finisher. He starts a thing, he can finish it. But to us, you can be the author and then somebody else is the finisher. Therefore, do your part as the author. Let the other person do the finishing. And you see, we blend together and work. Isaiah said the goldsmith will talk to the carpenter and they will join their hands together and make it work. That's why man is a social being. So when you want to manage time, use organizers. There are people who are competent to do certain things. Give them chance to do it, but supervise. And in simple way also, know your deadline. Because you want to manage time, know your deadline. When am I to submit? Like some of us who will tell people, you say somebody to show you a cloth, you give a day, I'm going to use a cloth so day. And if the person failed to do it that day, you become annoyed. Why? Because you set the deadline. The same thing to us. Even if you are the manager yourself, you are the owner of the work yourself, set a deadline for it. Even if it's a spiritual thing, set a deadline because God is going to strengthen us based on the span of the activity we are talking about. Learn to say no. As another thing, if you want to manage time, learn to say no. Not everything you must be, not every program you must attend, not every conference you must speak. Learn to say no sometimes because you know that when you say no, you are looking at the importance of that thing. You are looking at the timing and you are looking at a lot of the, is it important and urgent? Is it important or not important, but it's urgent? Is it not important? Therefore, why do you go to do those things? Learn to make sure that you have, say no. I will not be there. A friend of mine told me that most of the time, if I don't want to, let me just share because we are sharing. That if I see that a program is not very important for me, I should engage myself. I tell him what you are using. He say, engage yourself. Tell the person you have a case, you have something to do so that you can be relieved to live more and to succeed more. To that person, that's how we look at the issue of saying no. By engaging himself, which may be sinful by telling lies. But in the other way, is a situation you say, well, I'm not going to do this so that I may have time for something else. So I may have time to do this. Learn to say no sometimes in program. Learn to say no sometimes in engagement. Learn to say no sometimes in actually desiring to do anything. Because everything we do has a time and have a purpose. Then target to be early. If you want to manage time, target to be early. Finish the work before the time limit. Finish the work before the time limit. Like as we are speaking now, if not that it is teaching. If I'm told to talk 1 hour, I should talk 50 or 45 minutes and leave the rest time for questions and for other things. Learn to aim before the time, so that when you do that, you give yourself a gap and people will know. You know, there are some preachers, they say preach for 1 hour, and they preach 1 hour, 30 minutes, and they say, I have not finished. The Holy Ghost tell me, leave the Holy Ghost alone and do the thing that you should do at the time that should be done. Don't criticize the Holy Ghost and let people talk about the Holy Spirit. That will expand time. Learn within the limited time and learn to say no. And then not only that, time box your activity. What I mean by that is make sure you put your activity in a proper place and then box your activity, so that you know when that time is finished, that time is finished. Look at even the instrument and what we are having today. When you run to a particular speed, when it goes to a particular level, it will need either overhauling or servicing or whatever, because it has been time boxed. Then we say also have a clock visible place before you. If we are doing anything, have a clock visibly placed before you, so that you can, as you are looking at time, and then you say, okay, this is the time that it is, and you can now time yourself, not until when somebody time. We say also block out distractions. To manage time, block out distractions. You know, there are some, like all of us, we have our phone. There are many people that want to post something on their phone. Sometimes block out some distractions. Anything that is not important, delete it, so that you can have space. That sometimes my phone will be filled of information and they say delete them. So I will take time and delete. That's the same thing that could be when we are working. So as we do it, I want to say that since time is going, there is something we always call the smarts in time management. Smarts in time management. SMART goals. That's always set the SART goals. What is that? A stands for specific. M stands for measurable. A stands for attainable. TR stands for relevance, and T stands for timely. And so we say, always set SMART goals. And what is that? Set specific goals, set measurable goals, set attainable goals, set relevant goals, and then set timely goals. When you do this, you see you have actually helped yourself to put the time in the way it should be. I believe that every mature person and every young person that wants to grow should flow within the time limit that he has in life. Somebody brought an idea to me, and I was looking at the statement. He said there are some people who use the first 40 years of their life to labor and labor and labor and labor and labor, so that they can keep what will sustain them from 50 years and above. But there are some people who use the first 40 years of their life enjoying. And by the time it is the time they will not have power to work again, they cannot do anything. They end in poverty. And the important thing is to know the timing. If you want to survive tomorrow, the first 40 years should be time to labor, to accumulate, to keep. So that when you come into the 50s and above, you see that your strength to work much will not be there. You now enjoy what you have kept before. But in a situation we do the wrong timing, that we use the first 40 years in order to labor, enjoy, keep nothing for ourselves, do no building, do nothing. By the time our hand is no more strong again to do the work, and then you now start to do it, you say you die without a possession. So what we have to do is to make sure we set deadlines, and then we keep ourselves going the way we ought to go. There are many things to say about time. But since we are looking at how to manage time, how to manage emotion, how to manage finances, I may tell my queen that I should center on time today. Anytime we look at the issue of emotion, because when we fail about time, we fail.
Yes. Yes.
In business, you say time is money.
Okay.
In life, we say time is all. A thing we miss to do now, we may not be able to do it again. A money or a task we need to do now, we may not be able. So I said also that if we want to manage time, remember that being well organized and focused can help you. Be well organized and focused. Make sure you have the time. Some people have this, the level in your life, whether spiritual life or maturity like that, you may not even use a watch here, call clock, or use watch, but the thing can be flowing within you. You know the limit of when to do it. When you come to that level, you know you cannot enter in emergency. So keep yourself healthy and stress-free. Keep yourself healthy and stress-free. That's another aspect of time management. When you keep yourself healthy and stress-free, you'll be fresh enough. You will still be able to do the work. The ideas will still be there. When you are so stressed up, no good idea will come. Stress will now come in. Old age will come in. A lot of things will come in, and you cannot do what's supposed to do. And I would tell us, put your first thing first and have a separate list. Put first thing first. In managing time, put first thing first. Know which one is number one, which one is number two, which one is number three. I even learned a lesson from automobile. There is gear one, there's gear two, there's gear three, there is gear four, and there is a gear five. And you cannot use gear five to start a car. It will not work. You start with gear one. When it goes and carry momentum, you change to gear two. Even if it's automatic, he knows how to do it. And so we need also to look at this aspect, and we put things in place and say the productive issue about us, and that will help us. And I say, understand the three pillars of life. Understand the three pillars of life. If you actually want to manage time, understand the three pillars of life. What are those three pillars? Number one is career. It's a pillar. Understand it. What year do you start to talk about career? Do we start to talk about career at the age of 40, 50, 60? If you cannot start it at the youthful age, you are missing it. That's the first thing. The second one is relationship with family and their friend. You see young people today, the next thing they want after school is marriage. At least they have my child, and you see they are not even able to keep themselves, and they are now having 2 children, 3 children, and those children, when they ask for money, will not know what to do. We need to place this. The career is number one. Relationship, that is family issue, is number two. The third one is health and fitness. It is a pillar. For when sickness comes, you cannot be able to do what you should do. Fitness is important. That if you are not fitted to do anything, you are written off because you cannot function again. And that's why the government talks about retirement. So the question here is on you to focus on those things. Then we say value your time always. If actually you are going to make it and manage, value your time always. Let every time count for you. Let every second count for you. And then if it is time to relax, you've done everything and there's nothing to do again, you sit down and relax. Like as I said the other day about happiness, you just sit down and begin to happy, laugh at yourself, rejoice, and begin to dance and make yourself melody because you are relieved. No load is really coming upon you. Identify the thing that causes a regular repeated drag and drain. Remember those two words. Take note of the thing that actually bring repeated drag and drain. Most of the time we are drained up. Most of the time we are dragged into what we should not. So understand those drags and the drain so that you can make it that you stay balanced at any time and at all time. Knowing when you start a job and how long you intend to finish it will actually help you to survive and to succeed. In managing time, as we are getting to the close, know that time management has the following. Time management has the following. A, advantage. If you manage time very well, You see greater productivity and efficiency. That's of advantage. You have better professional reputation. People will say, yes, this person is able to do it. One thing about humanity is reputation, credibility. That somebody will say, no, leave it to him, he will handle it. And that is because he has gotten time. Apart from that, less stress is one of the advantages of proper time management. And after that is increased opportunity for advancement, even increased opportunity for invitation, increased opportunity for a lot of things. Because when people see that you can manage time very well and you can do what is expected to be done, you realize it can really make the real thing to go. And the other area is greater opportunity to achieve more. But what are the advantages or disadvantages? If you don't manage time very well, number one, you'll be insufficient workflow. You see everybody doing the work, but you don't see the work going very far because there's no objective, because there's no sensitivity, there's no challenge, there's nothing that motivates people to do what they should do. Number two, poor work quality and missed deadline. Poor work quality. So whatever we do in life, let's make sure that we manage time in the way it should be managed. We take also poor professional reputation and what we call teller carrier. Then we talk about higher stress. Other things can be there, but I want to stop here in case there are some questions to ask, because there are many things we should talk about time management. There is actually the issue we call time management tips, which time will not permit it to bring. There are about 20 tips to time management. And if we know these tips, you can put it at the tips of your finger and you can do what is expected to be done. I think my time is over, and then we will talk more about the issue of emotion, because some people are mixed up emotion with feelings. And because of that, they cannot manage their emotion very well. They are too emotional, and therefore they break relationship and destroy what happened. And I don't even talk about managing our finances, which is all important. $1 million now, and before tomorrow he has finished it. To get money is not a problem, but how to spend the money, that is the problem. I beg to stop here, and any other time we shall go on. Thank you very well. If there is any question, I'm there to answer. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your in-depth training. I mean, you were really, I'm sitting in front of my papa, my mentor, my everything, and I'm learning, our mate, our patron. And if you are not learning, I don't know what you are doing, because if you go to a seminar or masterclass and you are not learning from what's been said, that's also time waster, isn't it? So in order not to waste your time, I believe that you've learned a lot on this program today. And I want to say thank you so much, Reverend Professor Akpabio, Papa, for having time to come and share with us today. I wish we can incorporate another time between now and tomorrow for part 2 of timing, because we need it. And then probably we have to extend your the emotional one and the finance one till next time when we do our masterclass.
As the court pleases.
Okay, because I know tomorrow you are coming in to share with us on the biblical principles. And I know you've prepared for that one as well. So we don't want to move away from that. But on top of it, if we can have extra few minutes to conclude this time management for us, I will love it, sir.
Tomorrow, I think I will be very free. I will not be engaged much. So whatever you want me to do, I'm at your mercies.
Okay. For how long can you have with us tomorrow, sir? Because you have another section with us tomorrow on biblical principles of love, relationship, and marriage. How long can you stay with us tomorrow? If not, we'll just focus on what you have tomorrow and then create another time for the principal. Maybe that's what we do, because I know you might be lecturing in the college Bible school. Okay, so we leave it the way. Sir?
We leave it. Let me handle what I'm to handle tomorrow. Then,
Yes.
anytime you schedule, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for everyone.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We're trying to rest in the month of June, but if we have to bring you in June to do the rest section, we will try to. If not, we will have a good rest for a month. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Stephen Cameron, Ambassador Oluwatosin Ojo, Ambassador Roland Johnson, Dr. Samina Evelyn, and also on Facebook, Ambassador Ilori, and many, many more that are joining us soon or watching this video later. We want to express our gratitude to Reverend Professor Akpabio that have shared with us the very importance of time management. And unfortunately, you won't be able to finish it up today because it's broad and we need to know. Once we know the time management, we can solve the whole world problem. Any other problem that comes in for relationship, marriage, and also family. So, and I think that is very important that he took that particular timing and then share with us today. Then next time, when we have another program, because we know we are still going to come back with this relationship again. So I will note it that Papa is still going to continue with time management. If we have to split it into each date so that we don't bring everything to the same day, emotion and also finance management. So thank you so much, sir. Okay, any problem? Not any problem, sorry. Well, we can call it problem as well. Any questions? Any questions for Papa this morning? Let's start from Ambassador Roland Johnson. Do you have any question for Papa or any comment? Quickly, are you there?
Well, everything is well said, and at least I learned a lot from him. But actually, I don't have question for now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because you can still watch the video later and read and watch it. Any contribution, Ambassador Olutosin Ojo? Okay, we're moving on. I believe you can join us. Dr. Stephen Cameron, any contribution or any question for Reverend Akpabio?
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, for giving me this opportunity. It was such an amazing session from Dr. Reverend Professor Akpabio, and I wanted to extend my heartfelt gratitude for his exceptional lecture on time management. And his insights were incredibly valuable. And I'm pretty much sure that it would definitely have a significant impact on our life. And we would definitely prioritize our tasks, set certain goals, use a planner, and break those all the day into small uh, steps. And we would plan a day much better and use the best of what we have as time. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Reverend Akpabio. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Dr. Stephen Cameron. I also have a message for you, sir, from the Facebook. Ambassador Rita Ilori is saying to you, sir, thank you for this great insight and deep knowledge, our Papa, sir. So that is the message from the Facebook, and they are learning as well. Okay, let's welcome Dr. Samina to also make a comment or ask question quickly. Dr. Samina, quickly.
First of all, I thank very much and appreciate the time management presentation. It's very good. Professor Akpabio really do it very nicely. And but give us few tips or tools or steps or strategies that how we can um, make our professional reputation better. Reputation that we can do our work before time, and time management is also, but do some tips that we should increase our productivity.
Reverend Akpabio, did you get the message? I mean, the question? Okay. Yes, sir. Quickly, because I'm also checking the time for you, sir. So
Yes.
if you
How
can
do we,
quickly do that.
how do we increase the productivity?
Okay.
Yeah, productivity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
I think it's
if
two. I think it's two in one. How to increase the productivity and also,
Productivity to good for the good
yeah,
reputation.
yeah. And
It
then
is
out.
better.
Okay. All right. Did you get it, sir? Did you get the question?
Can you amplify it?
Yes. Can you make it straight, you know, straightforward?
Some steps. Tell us some steps or strategies or tools so that we can improve our productivity,
Okay.
professional productivity.
Okay. Actually, like as I said, that aspect comes to in improving time management for productivity. I said, number one, build accurate self awareness. If actually we want to increase productivity, and then we want to do what should be done, and then we should build accurate self-awareness of the time management skill. There are some management skills, there are up to 20 skills that if we know them, it can really help us. So we do the awareness. We can understand what is to be understood and then see what we can do. If we create a time and then we see what we do, it can really help us. It's a build accurate self-awareness, recognize that performance matter, not how one thinks. If we know that performance matter, we spend time to produce, make ourselves well, and then it's going to be. Then identify and prioritize the skill you need to improve. We need to look at which area am I not okay? How can I really put it on? Where do I get information that I need? Because like when we are preaching, when you cannot do anything, we say, oh God, help me or let the grace come. But when it comes to productivity, there will be need people want to see the results. So those are some of the things. Then develop awareness, understand the skills of productivity. There are at least some of them there. You find the peak, you do the performance, you do the evaluation, and then you can actually look at the feedback. Because in all that we do, we need to hear, are you doing well or are you not doing well? And there are settings. There is one circle I draw here, and I put the 12 things that we can do in order to produce and then make sure that productivity is what it should be. But let's be conscious. If I say practical, know your weakness, know where you are going to, know how to work your way out. That will help us be what we should be.
Okay, that's great. I think Papa is, I'm checking the time for you. Is it time for you to leave, Papa?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because you need to attend. I mean, that's why we're talking about time management. So we have to make sure that Papa also is not late to where he's going to lecture or to teach or to minister to somebody, because time is very important. So on behalf of the Y.Y.C.I International and YYCI, we want to say thank you so much, sir, for presenting a very valuable talk today. I think Dr. Samina,
Very productive.
very productive. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
she's appreciating your presentation and the answer to what you've responded to her. So thank you so much, Papa. So you are free, sir, anytime you want to leave. so that
Okay.
you are not late for your lecture. We don't want you to be late so that we can have you back as well. So because you are still coming back tomorrow morning, sir.
I
So
am also looking at the fact that if possible, when I finish all of them, I may produce it as a
yeah,
material, and then we give it out so that we can see the aspect of the timing and the
yes,
especially emotions. Some
yes.
people allow the emotion to disgrace them. So
Mm.
pray for me that I will have time to bring all of them together
Yes,
and
sir.
make it work. I have a book about that, but I want to bring the reality of those areas that can help. And I
Yes.
trust that we will make it to happen. Thank you.
Oh, that would be
Bye.
lovely, sir. That would be lovely. We love to have that one, sir, in a complete program. Yes, we love that. Thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to have that, sir. Thank you so much, and God bless you, sir. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
day. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.